Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. What causes silver prices to either rise or fall? This is the topic of this video. Several different things influence silver's price for the better or for the worse, and there are separate instances and separate things that affect these prices and influence them. And a lot of people will try to put them all in one category, but it actually is it's separate. They do correlate. They can be influenced off of each other. Every market's a little bit intertwined, to say the least. But silver prices are a little tricky because not only is it the chart analytical standpoint of it, the analysis, but it also is the economical standpoint as well. Also, there's another one that we've seen creep in more and more, which is the speculative standpoint of these markets nowadays with a lot of emotional attachment. So before we start, make sure to smash that like button. Let's see if this video can get 150 likes. That would be amazing. If so, we're approaching 24,000 subscribers, which I cannot thank you guys enough for the support. So let's jump into it. Now, for the better, for silver's price to be rising, what usually happens? Well, there's a couple of different things I can think of on the top of my head. The first is the demand for silver. Usually, when silver's price starts rising, more money starts coming into it, new investors, people starting to come over, whether it's from stock market volatility, whether it's from the real estate markets, the dollar index rising or lowering. These can affect prices. Now, the dollar index is it's a tricky one because most times if the dollar is low, that means silver's high, or if the dollar's high, that means silver's low, which is interesting because they both are technically money. Well, actually, I shouldn't say technically. I guess essentially they are both money. I mean, banks hold a lot of gold and silver themselves, and banks also hold fiat currency because they know where the value truly lies. So, on that note, gold and silver usually rise as it's gaining momentum as news is covering it, YouTube videos are coming out, articles and blogs, friends and family are talking about it because the price starts rising and people see it to be more profitable, and people are usually chasing the dollar. Whatever's going to make them that dollar first or quicker is going to be, what they head after, regardless of what it actually can do, the intrinsic value of it, how much potential it has, how much opportunity or how many uses it really has fundamentally in the world. They're going to be chasing the dollar. And that's something that's interesting about precious metals, is because anytime the economy's in a bad spot, people turn towards precious metals as a safe haven investment, which is interesting because you would think that most people would invest into it regardless, since they see the economy is going downwards. I mean, we're in a downward spiral, the recession's looming, and there's nothing really we can do. I mean, we're too deep in the hole to fix it. So, this takes me into my next point, is looking at the historical patterns is the best way, or it's a very accurate way to predict where prices are going for precious metals. And now we're still talking about the upwards trend. So in a bull market compared to a bear market, a bullish trend usually it happens quicker, and it's usually followed by gold. Usually gold sets the tone or sets the pace of what silver's going to do. Gold is silver's big brother, so usually if you want to see what silver's doing, look at gold. Look what gold's doing, and usually within a couple weeks to a month, silver's going to be following that shortly after. Now, with that said, the gold to silver ratio is still contradicting because we see silver still extremely undervalued. So if these prices move, they move parallel to each other, but the ratios are still extremely, extremely out of whack. When is this going to be back to more natural prices or more natural ratios? Time will only tell. I mean, in the 30s, it was when the ratio went from 16 to 1 to 75 to 1, but I still see I guess, fluctuating price, a lot of opportunity with silver, because silver is undervalued and gold is overvalued. So this is really what you can do. Is it a chart standpoint from it? Is it a triangle formation? Is it in a 3-month-old downtrend, or is it a 3-month-old uptrend? what is, the support and resistance levels. Is it staying above the support lines? And you want a gradual approach, because once it's above these support lines, and this is what silver's doing right now. We've had so many things like stock market setting record highs coming at silver, bad things that could potentially hurt the prices, but we still see silver standing its ground, building some stability, which shows that silver is, it has a backbone, and this is setting up for a rally. Because if silver wasn't strong right now at this $17 standpoint, then silver would have crumbled when stock markets were record high, but they haven't, which is an interesting thing to take note of, especially looking at the future. We have several different things we can look at in the future. So that's something to think about, is what's happening in the economy and how is it affecting precious metals, and are the markets moving corresponding or relative to what they should be? And if they're not, then it shows that there is some stability there, and that's really good news. Now, for what makes prices crash is basically the opposite of what I just mentioned, but a couple other things as well. One is speculation. The government, U.S.-China trade negotiations saying they're coming to agreements. This stuff can hurt prices. Stock market setting record highs can hurt prices, but they're trying to manipulate people's emotions and really, I guess, move the markets, move the metals markets, real estate, whatever it is, to their advantage. And we've seen companies like J.P. Morgan, Merrill Lynch, the Dutch bank, get caught from spoofing, placing illegal buy orders on these exchanges, and it makes it it's really tricky, because now we have this other thing to worry about, which is gold and silver in a bubble. And if it isn't a bubble, to what extent are these prices being controlled? Because we've seen it happen. They got caught red-handed. 3 of their employees got arrested from JP Morgan. Now it's actually a punishable crime, but still, to what extent are these prices really being moved? I'm curious. I mean, I know, even though it's public now that 3 of their employees got caught doing it with millions of dollars, and that's a $1 billion company, so who knows to what extent and how long it's been going on, but I'm sure there's other people still doing it and getting away with it. Now, the ETF side of it, exchange traded funds, the ETF side of silver is interesting because it is more of a marginal trading. It's more fast paced. It's almost like stocks. So you still have to be careful, especially if you are a day trader, to what these prices do. It's a more slow approach. I mean, if you are going to be investing into gold and silver, I would use it more for a long-term preservation of wealth, more than something that's, you're trying to make a dollar quick from, because it's just not the same type of investment. It's not the same type of money. It's not the same type of market. It's not really what the markets are intended for. It's a preservation of wealth. Now, there is different types of silver stacking, obviously, and people from all different types of goals and financial situations and exit strategies can invest similar, but there always is that individual aspect, and that individual aspect is going to be highly reflected upon the choices, the decisions you make when it comes to investing. So when it comes to prices, I definitely think that good or bad, the state of the economy is extremely important for prices to be doing well. And I think that right now in the economy, especially, we have the 2020 presidential election coming up, the industrial demand rising as the supply is falling. A lot of things are going to be happening, whether it's the U.S.-China trade negotiations, better for worse. I think that silver definitely has the opportunity to be rising, especially in the year 2020. I'm not trying to be a silver pumper. I'm not trying to mislead my audience. This is my honest opinion. There is a good chance going into or leading into 2020, for the next month or so, prices could still stay stagnant. I mean, stocks are still doing extremely well, so this is going to be hurting the price of silver. But the main thing to take focus of and take point in is that these prices are still holding its ground. We're not seeing $15 silver right now. We're still seeing $17 silver, where as if silver didn't have any legs behind it, or if it was a very weak market, we would see silver in the $15 range right now. So that's something to really think about, is silver is holding its ground, and this shows that when things start going good, it's going to go extremely good, because people are not selling off in fear. They have faith in this investment, and that's really important to take note of. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button. Please make sure you subscribe if you're new, because I do post daily videos. Today I made two other videos. I think you guys will enjoy them. They'll be in the top left and right hand corner if you want to check them out. I also have a Patreon page if you guys want to support me for exclusive silver giveaways, one-on-one investing tips, in my newsletters. A cool way to engage with me, personally, if you guys want a chance to do that. So link will be in the description. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.